possible, just throwing it out there. Next, we have Freemasons exposed. So Freemasons, Illuminati, Deep State, Cabal, they're all about to be exposed. Disclosure, truth, it's all about to come out. It's about that time, damn right. Remember Judgment Day, unlimited knowledge, great awakening, reset. Lord, that cannot come soon enough. So interesting results just from saving a picture, right? I did the same kind of decode for this one. So when you save it, that is the text you get. Now when I searched that in Gematria, the only thing I had changed was the number 3. I changed it to the word 3 written out, because when it's text and numbers like that, it won't count the text, or excuse me, it won't count the numbers as an actual numerical value. It won't actually add 3 into the Gematria equation. So in this situation, if it's Isepo and then number 3, you have to change the number 3 to 3 written out, okay? So if we scroll down to the English and simple Gematria results, global currency reset, get tough Republicans, XRP marks the spot. It's showtime, folks. And again, all these decodes have to do with the date, March 4th. Now, if you didn't know this already, the US Constitution originally directed that a president be inaugurated on March 4th of the year following a presidential election. So they inaugurated presidents on March 4th in the years from the years 1793 to 1933. It says right here, however, the 4 months when a defeated president would continue to serve until the president-elect was sworn in was often a time of political inaction. So supposedly because of 4 months of political inaction, because there was a sitting president who had lost the election, supposedly that's the reason why they changed the inauguration date from March 4th to what we have now, present day, which is January 20th. But just another very interesting correlation with March 4th. And not only that, the fact that they stopped inaugurating our presidents on March 4th in 1933, that's interesting too. 1933, that's when FDR confiscated everybody's gold and silver, all US citizens. He passed an executive order that made it illegal for private citizens to hoard precious metals. So literally all American citizens that had precious metals, gold, silver, they had them confiscated by the US government. That was in 1933. So we're moving into a precious metals economy. We're going back to the US Constitution. Basically, what happened in 1933, gold getting confiscated, us moving away from the Constitution, the exact opposite of that is about to happen now. And that makes sense because in 1933, we were at one side of the spectrum and living in a deep state, satanic, cabal dominated society. And now we're moving to the other end of the spectrum where we're going to be living in a high vibrating, loving, patriotic, and operates under constitutional law. So March 4th, yet again, something significant is going to happen on that day. It may actually be the reset, but at minimum, it's going to be something extremely significant that none of us are going to forget for a long time. So right now we're in the Telegram page for my Patreon members. I call it the Alchemy Lab. So the first significant event I want to show you all is right here. In 1789, the first US Congress meets and declares the Constitution in effect. So we're waiting for our new Constitution to be declared in effect. So that's really relevant to right now. Hopefully this next one doesn't repeat itself. The Hindenburg disaster was March 4th, 1936. It was the first flight of the airship Hindenburg, And this picture summarizes it up pretty well. It caught fire, there was an explosion, a bunch of people died. In terms of man-made craft and the wreckage that man-made craft can create, it was one of the worst disasters the world had ever seen at that point. So hopefully that doesn't repeat itself, but I still wanted to mention it. Next up, on March 4th, 1933, that's when Franklin Delano Roosevelt was inaugurated as our 32nd U.S. president. FDR pledged to pull U.S. out of the Depression, saying we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And I think if Trump was listening to this video right now, he would agree with this quote. Trump is going to pull us out of this depression, and we have nothing to fear, y'all. I thought this next one was interesting just because we're all waiting for the Three Gorges Dam to break and a significant portion of China to flood. And in 1930, on March 4th, terrible floods ransack Languedoc and the surrounds in southwest France, resulting in 12 departments being submerged by water and causing the death of over 700 people. Now, if the Three Gorges Dam breaks, the damage and death is going to be significantly higher in China. I hope that doesn't happen because I don't want innocent, Chinese citizens that have nothing to do with their corrupt communist government getting hurt. But hopefully they have a way to stay safe and get out of that area, because anybody that lives in China that's down in those valleys, you need to get out soon. Next, and this is one of the two really important ones that I wanted to show y'all. On March 4th, 1789, in New York City, the first Congress of the United States meets. Putting the U.S. Constitution into effect, the United States Bill of Rights is written and proposed to Congress. So the day that our U.S. Constitution went into effect was March 4th, 1789. All right, that's extremely significant, and that's extremely relevant to today because we're waiting for the United States to go back under U.S. constitutional law. The last significant March 4th event in our history that I wanted to show y'all is right here. The S&P 500 stock market index is introduced, replacing the S&P 90. That's what happened back in 1957. But if you took these events and put them in today's time frame, this would basically be telling you that the newly introduced blockchain financial market, which includes cryptocurrencies and the old stocks that have now been moved on to blockchain, that new financial market is replacing the old stock market. So March 4th, that may be the day Nisara Jasara finally happens and we move into our digital economy. But it also may not be. So I sure as hell hope it is, and I really hope it's before March 4th. But at minimum, I think March 4th is going to be a really significant date that all of us are going to be made aware of, whether we like it or not. So March 4th, guys, mark it in your calendars. I think that's going to be a really, really big day. That's going to go ahead and do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't yet, please check the links in the description below. Be sure you're following me on my backup channels, and also go check out my Patreon. Consider donating or becoming a member to support the channel. And yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. Till next time, where we go one, we go all.